Let's talk about creative burnout. This is a video I thought I would never make. Now, that sounds a little dramatic, but as you see by the title, I want to talk about burnout, and more specifically, creative burnout in an unscripted, not planned out way. I've been thinking about this video for months. So, a bit of a background. Like I just said, I haven't made any notes for this. I just knew I wanted to make a video opening up about burnout and talking about it and trying to have a discussion with some people about it. People that have gone through the same thing, people that feel like it's starting to happen, stuff like that. So I actually was just about to jot down some notes beforehand about this, and then I wrote down the first sentence and then deleted it and was like, nope, I think unscripted is the way this should be. So I want to talk about a few things, open up about myself a little bit, why there hasn't been videos going on here, and things like that. So, tiny bit of background. It is July 1st, Happy Canada Day, 2025, and I have been doing full-time photo and video work for different couple jobs since 2017, so 8 years, full-time, whether it was subcontracted to then employee to then starting my own business in 2019. And just with how I was raised as a kid, I always had this push of you could always do more, which I love that my parents instilled in me. Not to get too deep, but specifically my mom, it has given me a drive to succeed in a lot of different ways. And I won't, if I want something, I'm getting it. Even when I get it, what's next? Which I think is a really good thing but it's also a kind of I don't know. I think it led to me feeling like I was invincible, which has led me to where I'm at right now, and more specifically where I was at the end of last summer. So since I went out on my own in 2019, so for the past 5-6 years, in 2019, when I left, I was terrified because I didn't have a paycheck every 2 weeks. And looking back, I shouldn't have been that scared because I was living at home with my mom. Expenses were really low. I really had nothing to lose, honestly. The worst thing that could have happened was I had an open offer from my old boss that if I ever needed full-time work, I could go back to them. So like me being stressed out, whatever. I was always someone that saved money as a kid. I had spent it a lot through high school, but this is where I was at. I was like, you know what? I'm going to work like a dog for the first year and save a ton of money. Well, spoiler, 5 years later, I was still working like a dog. And I never thought I would get to the point of burnout. In the most stupid mindset, just looked at people that complained about burnout and kind of laughed. I'm like, how do you even do that? And turns out, I had that invincible feeling for so long that when it hit, it was crippling. So last summer I had a stretch. I think it was 2 months. I can't remember specifically. It was honestly a blur of I had not had like less than a 14-hour day in like 2 months. And I know that's a lot for people, but it was at the point where I was not even in my own bed on weekends. So I was going 9 to 5 shooting Monday to Friday, doing a lot of real estate stuff, corporate stuff in between there. And then weekends was filling in corporate stuff, doing some weddings. I had a bunch of weddings last summer, and a lot of them were out of town. So I was gone doing that stuff. And then what I coined the phrase of aggressively taking time off was my telling myself that was my relaxed time, but it was actually doing the opposite. I love that I would get invited to my friend's cottage all the time. I'd be up north. I'd be wherever. I'd be somewhere else. Away from home is like time away. Well, hindsight, it burned me real bad. I think it was a stretch of like 6 or 7 weeks after shooting 9 to 5 and then editing all night, 5 days a week. I'd then go away on the weekend, be at my friend's cottage, cram in a quick video edit. Like, it was just nonstop for 7 weeks. And I thought, like, yeah, I just need a couple days off at the end of this and I'm good to go. And it wasn't until I had a conversation with my mom near the end of that 7 weeks where it legitimately felt like I was suffocating. Just every day, the nonstop, like, yeah. It was a lot. I was just begging for a day of no shoots because I had clients needing their content that I was late on delivering. I'm a huge like FOMO person, so it was missing out on hanging out with friends because of all this stuff, and it just kept stacking up. And I was like, I need a break. I need a break. I need a break. And honestly, after that, it was kind of a blur. I had like a weekend off, and it was just like my house is a mess. I had put off so much and I didn't realize it till it was too late. And that was the scary part about this. And I think the scariest part about it, after that was said and done, I was so done with picking up a camera for anything. And when this is what it is, what you got to do to make money, and not only pick it up and like do it, but you got to be, anyone can pick up a camera, shoot it at something. You got to be the person to steer the ship with clients. And I like physically, mentally couldn't do that. I would sit down and finish an edit because it was like I couldn't deal with the humiliation of a client being pissed at me. That was like the only reason I was doing this. There was no enjoyment of it at all, and I just didn't care. Everything suffered from it. I didn't want to check emails. I didn't want to post on Instagram. And all of this time that was going on, it was, people ask how I was doing. It's just another day living the dream. And it's like, most people don't blink at that because my sarcasm, that's something I would say. But yeah, there was a lot more going on under the hood. And I never opened up about it because I'm like, everyone talks about like, oh, you go through 2 weeks of burnout and then you're back. And honestly, it legitimately wasn't until beginning of June, middle of June this year, I was finally getting my mojo back. And now I'm like, I've strung together a week of, it's been really busy, but like I'm starting to enjoy it again. And yeah, so there's positives to this. I'm a firm believer of, if you can get to the point where you're realizing you're having a bad day, and that it's just one bad day, and you wake up tomorrow and you'll be fine. It's like getting the flu. You wake up, you're like, yeah, I'm sick. don't get so down on yourself. Just do what you got to do to recover. Try again tomorrow. If tomorrow's a bad one, like everyone has a couple bad days, you'll be back. Life has its ups and downs. There's nothing you can do about it. But I think what was scary was that I was getting to the first time that, okay, this is like 4 months and you think you have a good day, and then it's when you sit down and, oh, I'm getting a good system going again. You go away for a weekend and Monday it's back to a bad day. You don't want to do any of this stuff. And that was the scariest part for me. But yeah, I'm not making any cuts in this video. I'm just letting it ride. It's just the things I've been thinking about in here going out. But what is the point of this video? I think it's, I've imposter syndrome never felt like I'm someone that should be teaching people things or feel like I have any influence on people. I think what I wanted to make this for was for me 2-3 years ago. Like to just chill out a bit. Me 2-3 years ago, I thought, invincible. I can do whatever I set my mind to. You can work yourself to the bone and after a week you're good to go. And I think me 2-3 years ago needed to hear, like, I don't even think hearing it would have done anything though. I think I had to go through this, which is kind of dark, but so maybe this is a warning for someone, that maybe this is just something that I could help someone be aware of the signs. Don't, I always say this line as a joke, but know your limits, play within it. Just watch out, like be careful. 'Cause I always thought, like, yeah, I'm young. I can just work whatever while I'm young. But I was working myself to the point where I got to the point where I'd lost light at the end of the tunnel. And that was the scary part. And what I mean by that is you're so far away from, like, the end of the tunnel is that, like, content, happy what I'm doing, and it's in a good place. I was in a spot so far away from that I didn't feel like I could get out of the busyness, and it wasn't going to get better. And I don't want other people to experience that, because it friggin' sucks. And it was scary. And that was, I remember vividly telling my mom, like, I think I've had enough of this. And like, I almost wanted to quit, and I'd like, I can't. And that's the scariest part. And I got emotional about it, which is not something I don't get emotional about much of anything. And yeah, that was scary, of just like almost saying it and breaking down. I like had to catch myself. I'm like, whoa, this is serious. Talking about like recovering from it. My advice, what did I do? I started connecting with as many creatives as I could. Whether that's local community, online, anything. Something that was great for me last year as I joined Creative Rise, which is a great 6-week mastermind from the wonderful people, Joey and Christy, and everyone that I've met through that, in person, online, via calls. It's been amazing. I think what helped was I felt so isolated before, and through Creative Rise and the calls we were doing in the 6-week mastermind, I was in round 11, I believe. I then joined the community, where there's a lot of great people in there, and I was able to book calls and talk with them, as well as I did the Inner Circle retreat, and I met a bunch of, I think it was 7 of us, I think, amazing creators from all through North America, in person in Palm Springs, and it didn't solve it, but it helped. It was one of the puzzle pieces to make the whole puzzle. In that sense, I had many great, I'd say, friends help. My friend Tim is always someone we met like through someone we know in common. Just talking ideas and finding stuff to get excited about, spec projects. For me, it was discussing with him about his business and how he could improve things. That's what kind of helped me. It was a great motivator. Someone I met through Creative Rise as well. I've only met him once in person, but from the day we met in person, amazing time. Owen from Native Release, lives in Montana, so not easy to hang out, unlike Tim, who's local, but moved away. But it helped a ton to get inspired, learn what other people were doing and how it inspires them. I think it gave my brain a bit of a rest and some outlook on what else I could be doing, because I felt kind of trapped, like I had to be doing this rat race to keep making the same amount of money or doing the same amount of work. I'm a procrastinator, so I need to be busy doing this stuff. It's kind of a set list where I want to be more creative and slow down a bit. So I never felt like I could slow down. Learning how other people were doing it showed me, like, pushed me closer to thinking more positively about this space. So yeah, to wrap this up, I don't know how long it's been going. Know the signs. Don't grind yourself out. I love seeing the different creative work people are doing, and I would hate to see someone get burnt out and leave this industry. I think it's a great industry for opportunity, for creative expression. It's amazing. And I, in so many ways, have lost my way, but I'm not getting too upset about it. But it's just, yeah, know your limits, play within it. Don't end up like me where, you feel like you're in too deep. 'Cause it sucks. And there was points where I didn't think I was going to get out of it. Not in a super dark sense, just of I was getting radical thoughts about, like, do I have to completely leave working real estate, working photos, like, am I going to work a normal job? That's where my mind was going. But that, for someone who plays pretty safe in income work, I've always wanted to move to Europe, but I don't think I ever will because I'm too safe for it. That kind of thing. That was the scary part for any radical change for me. That was the scary part for me, but I'm in a good spot now. I'm happy. I am starting to do something about getting overwhelmed. I was shooting 9 to 5, editing all evening, squeezing it in. Legit, any free time that was not seeing friends or shooting, I was editing, and I still was behind. Like, it was ridiculous. The money to pay someone to edit stuff so you can get some free time back is worth it. That's my biggest advice. Owen, who's been editing a lot of my real estate projects and some other things and helping out on shoots for a couple months, has been like a massive help. Paying the little bit every month for taking that off my plate was worth it. And I think that was an instrumental part to this as well, is delegate some things to other people. I'm getting to the point where I'm hiring some others as well, subcontractors, to help with that. And I think that's the route where I will be happy and sustainable, which is the biggest part. I think I'm past the point. I've experienced the burnout and I made it through on the other side, and I still look forward to picking up a camera again. I think I can do this for a long time. Whereas there's times where I thought I was done. So that's inspiring. Also, do yourself a favor. Go get yourself a fun camera. One that you never use for work. One that you bring on trips. You know, when you're out with friends, bring a small little disposable or something, and like post that stuff on Instagram. Don't think about it twice. Or you can post it, you can not post it. Print the photos, do something with it that you can then look at a photo at a later time and just be glad you brought a camera there. I think that does a lot. Doesn't have to be nice photos. I bring the Fuji. One of my favorites is like me at the Indy 500, Fuji X100 3 or 4. And I gave it to my buddy Simon, and he took a picture of me. And I'm out of focus, and behind me the track is in focus, and it's like me smiling, holding a drink. But it's like that moment sticks out in my mind as like a really fun time. And that was before I got burnt out. But I have those memories to look back on. And it's when you start to do photo, video, creative stuff for work, the passion leaves, and you have to be okay with that. But do something that sparks that creativity and fun for you. Yeah, because I went a long time with not picking up a camera if it wasn't for work, and I think that was not good. Yeah. So to wrap this up, I think this is like 20 minutes, 23 minutes, if I'm doing the math right. That was me opening up about burnout. I think I'm gonna leave my email in the bottom of this description, because if you made it this far, this was interesting enough to you. If you feel like you're getting burnt out, or you're scared about it, or you've been through it and stuff you learned, shoot me an email. And in the subject line, put burnout. And then either introduce yourself. What do you do? How long you've been doing this? Talk about burnout a little bit, and what your favorite thing to do with a camera is. Send me those things, and we can set up like a Google Meet, and let's chat about it. Let's be open about it, and then maybe we can make a video or something like this so other people can see and learn and open up about it, because it's serious. It's not like a world ender, but it's important for... I don't want to see people burn themselves out like I did. So if you're here till the end, thanks so much for listening to my rant. No cuts. This is bugging me for a long time to make this. It was scary for a long time. Like, it was like 5 months I went through this, where it was just a really low point. Not all low points. I like great times in the winter, friends wedding, like life was pretty good. I won't I wasn't depressed. I wasn't like no anxiety, anything. Life was good, but I just didn't know if I could pick up a camera and have fun with it again. And it was terrifying. And every time I went down to work, it was like, I don't want to do anything. Procrastinate, like worse than usual. So, yeah. Anyways, I'm going to wrap this up because I feel like I could just keep yapping. So, bless up and have a good one. Don't get burnt out or try not to. Okay, bye. Hello, Mia. You.